All right, we are live. Hello, hello, welcome. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to join me. Hello and welcome to my weekly live chat. I am tired after a very long and awesome day in the seed shop today. So there's that. Hello, welcome to my weekly live chat. I am Mary at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and I go live here on Facebook every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Time, and I go live on YouTube on Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time. So for those of you just joining me for the first time, welcome. And for those of you that join me regularly, welcome back. So today is going to be a little bit of a shorter video because I've got some stuff that I have to get done as well. We got Pam, we got Chastity, we got Diane, and we got Natasha. Thank you for joining me. I have had a bunch of seed giveaways this week here on Facebook, which is super exciting. And we got Agatha, we got Tracy, we got Brian. Thank you so much for joining me. And we have a seed giveaway today. I do a seed giveaway every week that I go live here on Facebook, but today is something special. Hey, Christy and Joan and Teresa and Jennifer and Anna and Christine. So Facebook deletes my live chats after 30 days. So this video will be loaded up to my YouTube channel after the fact. So you can check it out. You can watch the replay at a later time. Hey, Dana, thanks for joining me. So the seed giveaway is separate from my normal seed giveaways. My live chat tonight, you're going to get seeds and coffee. So before I get started, hey, Wade and Michelle and Jenny, all of the seed varieties I'm going to share with you tonight will be included in the seed giveaway. In order to enter, you need to be in the US or Canada. You need to comment in order to enter, and then you need to have not won recently. Asia Joe won recently, and your seeds got shipped out on, I don't remember what day. Let's see, Tank says, oh, you took the seeds to the school. Very cool. So I donated seeds to Tank's daughter's school, and hopefully they enjoy it and they love it. So the coffee I'm giving away tonight is Caramel Mudslide from Purple Moon Coffee Company. For those of you that don't know, Purple Moon Coffee Company is my coffee company. It is locally roasted in Tyler, Texas. If you don't know where that is, it's about 20-25 minutes from where we are in Ben Wheeler. So it is an East Texas coffee company. It is supporting a local coffee company and myself. Michelle, awesome, thank you very much. You have purchased my coffee before. So you'll get your, oh, there's Jojo today. Hey, Jojo. So the winner is gonna get coffee and seeds today, which is awesome. If you are wondering about Purple Moon Coffee Company, I'm gonna go ahead and share the link right now so you guys can see it. There's a couple of varieties that I offer at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, but this one is a Caramel Mudslide. If for some reason you want a larger quantity than a 12 ounce, I wouldn't say I'm a coffee snob, but I do love coffee. So I am going to also offer very soon, I'm going to offer a 1 pound bag and a 5 pound bag. These are 12 ounce bags. Super fun. If you're not a super mega coffee person, maybe 12 ounces is perfect for you. I love coffee. I drink coffee every day. It's very good. And if you want to make a purchase, I think there's a discount code Mary's Coffee, and it'll give you 10% off your coffee. Jojo is round like my dog. Jojo is a massive cat. He is a 26-pound mega cat. My favorite flavor is Caramel Mudslide, which is why I'm giving it away today. My mom actually purchased a couple to bring back home to, see that? He rocks the whole tower. He's so big. Anyway, so Caramel Mudslide is my favorite, which is what I'm giving away today. And I wasn't sure that Doc would like it, but he really liked it. So that's why we are now going to offer a larger bag of it instead of just a small 12 ounce bag. All right, so before I get started on this actual seeds, Aga says, I'd never won, would love to try the coffee, but if you don't win, you'll buy some. So use the code Mary's Coffee. It'll take 10% off. It's super cute. Purple's my favorite color. I like green too, which is like the green earrings, but Purple has always been one of my favorite colors when I was a kid. And it makes a great gift. So if you're looking for a gift idea. Now, there is a discount code available that expires tonight at midnight. Yes, Joan, he's a huge cat. But also, I think his parents were very large as well. He was a rescue that was found at like 2 days old. So, all right. Flowers is the first link I'm going to share with you. And there is a discount code that is available right now that will save you 20% on all flower seeds, but it expires tonight. So give me a second and I will pull it up and I will find this specific discount code for you so that you know. Today is October 15th. So if you're watching the replay, I apologize. You may not be able to get in on the giveaway, or you may not be able to get on the giveaway or the seed sale. Fall flower sale. All one word, all capitalized, and that will save 20% off all of our flower seeds listed in that link. Oh, there he is. He's jumping around. As big as he is, he's still like super active. So kind of fun, right? All right, so I shared the flower seed link with you. The next one on my list that I'm going to share with you is seed garlic. We are almost completely sold out of seed garlic. So if you haven't purchased seed garlic and you're interested, there's only a couple varieties left. Asia says there's some really good blends on there from the looks of the site. No, I don't have Danny with me tonight. If you're referring to when you say baby, if you mean Danny, I think she's actually staring at me from the couch. Yeah, the Southern Pecan. There's one called Cowboy Coffee, and that's more of just a general dark roasted coffee. Michelle, perfect timing. Yes, the Texas Super Sweet Onion is also called Texas 1015, and it is perfect to plant on 1015. We actually talked about that in the seed shop today. Oh, here comes Danny. Oh, she's going after my onions. I just flung them. All right, so the next one I'm going to share with you is seed garlic. Like I mentioned, we are almost completely sold out. So if you are looking for that, hang on just a second. Before Danny... She's going after it. Here it is. She went after the seed pack because it fell underneath my desk. She'll probably hop on my lap if I let her. So yes, definitely catch me on the replay if you haven't already. I'm not doing Yukon potatoes this year. I might do potatoes for spring. So definitely check back for that. And the last link I'm going to share with you that has nothing to do with the seed giveaway tonight is going to be my seed sale. My October seed sale ends tonight again at midnight. So if you want to check out my seed sale, I'm sharing the link here. The cool thing about Facebook is I can share the links while I'm live so that you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about at the same time. The Texas Super Sweet, like I mentioned before, is also called the 1020. Anne says, I'm thinking of growing onions in your green stock next spring. If you're going to grow onions in a green stock, I would recommend a bunching onion or a small variety of onion. You don't want to grow a large bulbing onion because it will not do as well as say a chives or something like that. So just consider the size. You don't want to have something that's too big in your green stock. And somebody mentioned my baby. Yes, this is my baby. She's joining me tonight. So anyway. All right, so we have the giveaway, we have the seed sale, we have coffee, and now we've got Danny joining me. So with no further ado, we will share the seeds that I'm going to include in the giveaway today. So if you missed my earlier chat, oh my gosh, I've got all the cats joining me today. That's Max back there, my other orange cat. All right, so the Anasazi Bean. The Anasazi bean is a very, very old variety of heirloom beans. It's one that is from what's called the Four Corners, which is 4 states that form a corner. Melissa says bunching onions in your green stock is great. Yes, bunching onions are a fantastic idea. Chives, those are great as well. Agatha says, how do I grow leeks? You're going to plant and grow leeks the same way as you would a bunching onion. the same way as you would a regular onion, to be honest, but you don't have to give it as much space because a leek generally is a straight up stalk and not a bulbing onion, so you won't have to give it as much space. So let me share this link with you here for Anasazi beans. Anasazi is a very, very, very old beans. Hey, Barbara, thanks for joining me. So Christy says, what is a green stalk? A green stalk is essentially a layered container garden. Okay, so let me give you a little, let me see if Daniel let me. A green stalk is round, but there are 3 sections, and they essentially rotate back and forth. It doesn't move, but it's stacked on top of each other, and it's a big business. It's a big company. They have deals and specials and things like that. But I personally don't use a green stalk because I prefer to grow in ground, and because we have a lot of weather here. We have a lot of wind, and that will just blow that thing out of the water. So I prefer a raised bed because it's easier for me. The green stalk is helpful if you have a small space and it grows upwards. Green stalk is the main company, but there are offshoots that are like at the dollar store or Family General or Family Dollar, I guess is what it's called. It is vertical gardening, correct. So if you have a small space, if you literally only have like a 3-foot base of a garden space, a green stalk is a fantastic option. If you have the space to grow, I really prefer in ground or in a raised bed compared to a green stalk. Let me answer some questions here since Danny's in my face. All right, how many cats do I have? We currently have 5 total. We have 4 inside our house, and we have 1, which is Buster, who is a recent rescue, who we kind of brought back from death's door, and he's in the shop. Right now he's outside, he gets to run around, and then at nighttime he is safe and sound in the shop. And so somebody also said, I prefer, I have raised beds, I prefer them also. Yes. Hey Kate, thanks for joining me. It's basically a tower, yes, to garden. And if you don't have the space, if you have an apartment and you don't want to take up all of your garden or your patio space, a green stalk is great. If you have more space, I don't recommend it. Yeah, Buster is awesome. We love it. For small spaces in vertical growing, I want to try aquaponics to grow lettuce. Very great idea as well. I have seen way too many people grow in the upright garden containers, whether it's the name brand of green stalk or whether it's the dollar store variety of it. It's tall and it can easily tip over. So there's that. Can the Anasazi be grown in a container? Absolutely, an Anasazi bean can be grown in a container. So it's a very old one. It looks similar to a Jacob's cattle bean, but it's not the same. And I posted that today, that I shared the link to the 3 varieties so you can actually see it. And I apologize if you're getting issues with Facebook. It's been super glitchy lately, so you lose signal or maybe you have to refresh on your computer and things like that. So apologize for that. So the Anasazi bean is the first one that is included in my seed giveaway today. Yep, I got the cats with me today. We had Max earlier walking through. We had JoJo walking through. Danny was we thought you were a boy because you were an orange cat, but she's actually a girl. So she is definitely very, very sweet. Sherry says many herbs year-round indoors with a grow light if you have room. Yeah, and that's the beauty of growing upright in one of those types of containers. If you can manage it, if you can swing it, you can grow indoors using something like that, and it works. So definitely. Yeah, Danny is definitely a snuggle bud. She's winning hearts, even though she is a sass pants. Don't let this cute face fool you. She's a sass pants. Andrew says, I wonder how the dollar store towers compare to green stalk. They're very similar. They're just a lot less expensive. So just a thought if it's something you're interested in. So the Morris Heading Collards is next on my list. Agatha says, next year I want to try growing dry beans. I've been successful with green beans. When do I harvest dry beans? Generally, if you're growing dry beans, there's 2 separate times to harvest. Danny, do not smack my face. If you're harvesting dry beans and you want them dry, you want to wait till your pods are more dry, because that will give the beans a chance to dry. If you're going to harvest the beans and cook them right away, you can harvest them more on the fresh side. It's very similar to cowpeas. If you're going to harvest cowpeas to cook right away or to freeze right away, you can actually harvest them when they're younger, when they're fully formed but still wet. She is very cute. Okay, so the Dollar Tree ones have no drainage. Interesting. I've always drilled more holes in my containers anyway because I like drainage. So if you're going to harvest dry beans as a very dry bean, you're going to want to make sure that you leave the pods on the plant and harvest when they're more dry, because the bean seed inside will be dry, and you can literally just store them. You want to lay them out, let them fully dry once you harvest them, and then you can put them in a jar, put them in your cabinet, no refrigeration, no freezing, no processing required right away, and then you're good to go. So it just depends on how you're going to do it. So the Morris Heading Collards was one I just shared with you. This is included in my giveaway this week. It's also called cabbage collards, and I actually had a customer this year, earlier this year. They're from the South, and they said, I'm looking for cabbage collards. And I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about. So the Morris Heading Collards they kind of look like a cabbage with a more open head. The inside of the collards are more of a dense head, and then they have big, bold leaves. So if you know about growing collards, generally you don't have a head of collards. They're just a bunch of leaves. So just to give you an idea, the Morris Heading Collards is more of it looks like almost a head of cabbage, but it's not as densely packed as a head of cabbage. Tank says, Tower Garden 2 is really great in comparison to those planter towers, however they are really pricey. So I have seen the Tower Gardens. I donated to a school program that had 55 Tower Gardens. So those are much pricier than the green stalks, but it comes with this whole like hydroponic, aquaponic thing. And so yes, they are significantly more expensive, but they are a little more self-contained. My friend Inga, who also usually is in my live chats, she has a tower garden, and she has shown me some amazing things she's done with her tower garden, growing indoors, growing the tiny Tim tomatoes in them. So hey, speaking of Inga, there she is right there. All right, so can you start collards indoors and transplant in spring? Yes, you can. Depending on your area, you might actually be able to grow them throughout the winter time. In East Texas here, we don't have a long, harsh winter, so my collards usually grow for 2 to 3 years, and they are successful. Oh, you said not the hydroponics with the soil ones. Okay, so collards are amazing. I love collards. It's a southern thing, and I didn't grow up really in the south like I am right now, but it is okay. So if you've grown a Swiss chard, it's similar in that it grows for more than a year, or it can grow for more than a year. You can harvest the outer leaves, and the plant still grows up like a big, beautiful stalk. It is often cooked in the South. You get collard greens, and it's usually cooked with like a ham hock and some onions and some spices. So there are definitely some benefits of collards. I like the fact that you can harvest, and not just pull up a single leaf and you're done, or a single head and you're done. It is part of the cabbage family. Generally, it's like a smooth-ish leaf. It's got a big like a stalk that you can cut out, or you can eat it, or you can remove it. Melissa says, I've grown in both. Oops, I missed it. Says, I've grown in both. The dollar stores get more brittle by year 2 and much more shallow. They dry out super fast. Okay, yeah, and they come with a warranty. Well, good to know. Thank you very much. Yes, Jenny, growing indoors is very awesome. Joan says, collard greens in bacon grease. Definitely delicious. Inga says, I will try these collards in my tower to show you hydroponic version. Aw, thank you so much. You're making a vegan coffee cake. Well, that sounds interesting and fun. All right, so the next one on my list is something you might never have heard of before, and I'm super excited to share with you today. All right, so we did the collards. The collards taste, okay, so if you're from the South and you're used to growing this stuff, don't throw rocks at me, but I feel like it tastes similar to a spinach and a cabbage. It has a delicious flavor, I will say that much, so it's really good. All right, so if you're commenting, not only do you get these awesome seeds today, but you also get a pack of caramel mudslide coffee from Purple Moon Coffee Company, and I shared the link. Scroll up so you can see the link, and you need to be in the US or Canada. You will not have won recently, and just comment, and that's your entry. B says, I like collards, especially after frost, collards and ham hock. Yep, that's the way I've had it, and it's pretty good. All right, culantro is the next one on my list today. So this one is used in Thai food. It's used in, yes, and after a frost, they can actually be a little on the sweeter side. So this one is used in Thai, India, Vietnam, and other parts of Asia. It has a similar flavor to a parsley. I've heard it can be used in place of cilantro, but not the same. Inga says, that coffee sounds good. Are they whole beans? So I mentioned earlier in my chat, I am going to have bulk seeds, coffee beans, excuse me, available. Before I do anything, Tanya S. Bradford, you won my recent giveaway, and I have not heard back from you. So check back on my page. I shared a screenshot of the winners of my most recent seed giveaway, and you won, and I didn't hear back from you, so definitely check it out. All right, so this is ground coffee. Sometimes I'm a little bougie with my coffee. I like coffee beans, and I ground them myself fresh before I make coffee. So what I will be doing is I will be offering the caramel mudslide in a coffee bean, and I will have it available in a large quantity, like 1 pound and 5 pounds. So definitely check that out. Culantro is a hot commodity in the Puerto Rican cooking, and it is like a super strong cilantro-like flavor. Now, the one cool thing about the culantro that is different than cilantro, if cilantro tastes like soap to you, generally that is like a genetic thing. Like people that have a weird flavor when they eat cilantro, it can be similar to lavender. I love cilantro. It does not taste like soap to me. I love it, I love it, I love it. So, culantro does not taste like soap. Let's see. Amelia says, the coffee have a roast date. These are roasted locally. I mentioned earlier in the video, these are roasted here in Tyler, Texas. I don't personally roast them, and I don't have a roast date. So, but I can check for you. That's not a problem. Crystal says, I jumped in on the conversation. I have 2 green stalks. My plants do so well in them. 9 Central. I don't think that culantro has the same type of soap flavor that cilantro does for some people. So if you have a hard time with cilantro, you might have a better time with culantro. So that's why I wanted to share that with you today, because that's just a super fun one. Like, why not? If you've never heard of it, if you've never tried it, definitely check out the link. Every seed variety I share with you tonight during the live chat, I'm also sharing the link so that you can read the information and see if it might be something that would work out for you. Yeah, I love cilantro as well. All right, so now we have a flower, a very fun one. This one is called Strawflower. So this is fantastic if you like to do dried flower arrangements. It's naturally dry flower, which is why it's called Strawflower. It is a drier flower. Chris says, do you dry the cilantro and grind it as a spice? I personally do not. You can actually use cilantro as seeds as an herb as well. If you're in the grocery store aisle and you're looking in the herbs, what is it called? Coriander is an herb, and it's literally cilantro seeds. So that's another herb that you can use. Wagner's Delight says, love your Facebook and all the info you share live. Thank you very much. Tracy says you'll try this culantro, hoping for the no soap flavor. So culantro and cilantro, from what I remember off the top of my head, that is, I don't think they're in the same family. So it should be better. She says, oh, I know. Diane says you love the shorter straw flowers. So this is the Dwarf Tom Thumb mix. We have a tall one as well if you want to try that one. So we have a tall one. This is the short one. So I did share the link for you. You can try the Dwarf Tom Thumb mix. That would be a good one for you if you like it. All right, so the next one on my list, for those of you that were talking about planting onions in your green stock or in your containers, one that you might want to try if you're in the South. If you're not in the South, I'll find something else that's better for you. This one is Barletta Onion. It is a very small, compact onion with a lot of great flavor to it. So if you want to grow a small one and not a very large bulbing onion, the Barletta is a really good one. So I'm going to share that link with you as well. By the way, for those of you just joining me, hit the love button and share the video if you can, because I can't share it while I'm live. Colette says it didn't grow well in your area. I don't know if it was bugs or whatever else. Heather says, can you grow straw flowers indoors? Honestly, I really think you're better off growing outside. Most of the varieties that I'm going to share with you today are better off planted outside. You can start your seeds indoors, but they really need to grow outside. So the Barletta onion, if you don't know, is a short day onion. And I had a couple questions when I posted to my Facebook page and said, what is one crop that you have trouble growing and how can I help you grow it? I need to hydrate real quick. Now, one of the concerns that people had was onions. One person said, I grow these great greens for the onion, but no bulb. And I said, are you growing the right onion for your region? And she said, and she actually said she had it backwards. So if you're in the South, you should be growing short day onions. If you are in the center across the US, you can be growing intermediate day onions. And if you're in the North, you need to grow long day onions. No, Barletta is a short day onion. So for those of us in the South, this is a good one. If you win and you're in the North or in the Central, I would be more than happy to change the Barletta onion out for you if you want. When is the best time of year to grow onions? That is absolutely going to depend on your region. So in East Texas, where I'm at, I can start my onion seeds now. For example, Texas Super Sweet Onion is also called Texas 1015. Today is 10/15, October 15th. It is recommended to plant Texas Super Sweet Onions in my region, my area, today on October 15th. So it really is going to depend on where you are. Let's see. Cindy says, I'm in the North and grow long day onions. Perfect, that's good. Agatha says, can you do a week that specifically focuses on Aero Garden style systems and what seeds would work? I can definitely do that as well. I don't have an Aero Garden, but I am familiar with the system and I can try to help you with that. And Amanda, I will talk about brassicas on a later date as well. That's not a problem at all. So like I said, while I'm live here with you guys, I can share all the links with you. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, I will share it in the description section of my YouTube video. If you're watching it on YouTube, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and reshare it so everybody else can see it. Now, when I'm live during prime planting season, I generally post things that you can plant right now. But since it's October and not everybody's planting right now, I'm giving you a mix of different things that you can plant now or maybe later, and it really depends on your region. I had someone who said I didn't have zones on my website, and so they weren't going to order. But the thing is, I focus on frost dates. I don't focus on zones, because your frost dates are super important when it comes to annuals, and a lot of the seed varieties we carry are annuals. So you want to know, when is my last frost date, which for me is March 12th, and when is my first frost date, and for that it is November 15th. What do you grow your onions with? So I grow onions with lettuce and garlic. I don't plant heavy rooting crops with my onions other than other alliums. Sorry, I probably pronounced that wrong. Let's see. Anna says, when is the best time to plant Brussels sprouts? Again, all of these varieties are going to completely depend on where you are. Anna, I believe you're in San Diego, which means you can plant them now. You have a very long growing season. You probably almost have 0 frost dates, so you can plant Brussels sprout seeds right now. As far as growing in pots, I would recommend growing it in ground, because they do need a lot of space. And Cindy says you're already in the 20s in Washington State, and that is why your frost dates are so important. Every single day, people ask me, can I plant that now? And I'm like, I don't know where you live. So I know, Anna, where you live, though, because that's where my family lives. So I totally know the growing season on that, because my mom's constantly asking me, what can I plant right now? All right, so flame lettuce is next on my list. I love, this is so pretty. This is such a pretty variety. So I shared the link just now. When I plant my garlic and when I plant my onion seeds, I'm going to plant things like flame lettuce because it's gorgeous. I'm going to plant things like red sail lettuce. The next one on my list is Paris Island cause lettuce. This is a romaine variety. This is a shorter leafy variety of lettuce. So I'm definitely going to plant all things leafy green so I can plant all the things. And Colette, again, you had a very cold night. We talked about that last week, and you were concerned that some of your more like least frost hardy plants, like your peppers and your tomatoes, weren't going to make it. So the most important thing for you to understand, or at least have on record, is your frost dates when you are planting annuals. And I'm looking at most of these, and except for the collards, all of these are annuals. So you need to know. Joanne says you just sowed flame lettuce 10 minutes ago. Perfect. You need to know your first frost date, and you need to know your last frost date, because those are your garden times. For me, it is March 15th to November 15th, and I have over 240, approximately 240 frost-free days. So those are a lot of things that all of these things that I can plant because it's within my area. Melissa says, Joan Schmoen, know your first and last frost date. Your zones are more important for perennial survival. Exactly. And so for flowers, absolutely, you definitely need to know your zones kind of for perennial flowers. But other than that, your annuals need to know, or you need to know for your annuals, when your frost dates are. So I just posted about that the other day. Oh, look, there's another cat. That's Sergeant Pepper. You have now seen all 4 of my indoor cats today during my live chat. All right, so the last one on my list today is going to be, hang on just a second. Pepper might join me too, you never know. I mentioned Paris Island cause lettuce. So I do need to share the link to that here. Yeah, it is very hot here, and mine have struggled as well. I just harvested some of the red outside of that. So Tanya says I can grow more now in Florida than when I lived in Ohio. Yes, absolutely. So I lived in South Florida for 9 years, and the growing season in Florida is 100% different than anywhere that you're gonna grow. So everything's different. Bertha says next year I will have salad in my garden ready. Yep, absolutely. So the first year growing in South Florida, I didn't look at any planting guides. I was like, I'm used to growing, I know what I'm doing. So I planted everything in late spring, and it pretty much shriveled up and died the first year of summertime. So you need to know your region and how it works. In Florida, this is prime planting time, because while some of my customers are dealing with snow and frozen ground, my Florida customers are going, hallelujah, it started to cool down and now I can plant all my stuff. So it really depends on where you are and what you want to grow to decide on when to plant it. So anyway, Paris Island Cos lettuce was the last one. There's Pepper Kitty right there. There he is. All right, so yep, Tanya, it's so fun. I mean, growing is awesome, and I've got experience growing in so many different regions that it's interesting. It's fun, but you know, every place is different. Teresa says, my lettuce mix isn't sprouting yet. Planted 10-2. When should I see sprouts? In general, lettuce seeds sprout in 7 to 10 days. So you should be seeing it now, or you should have already seen it. There's a couple of reasons why you may not see germination. If you have too much water, if you have not enough water, or if you planted it too deep. With lettuce seeds, the most common issue is planting it too deep. A lot of times I literally just scatter the seeds over the soil. I'll take a handful of coconut coir and just gently sprinkle it over and make sure it stays watered. If it's too hot or if the soil is too cold, those will also affect the timing in germination. B says, my mustard and turnips are slow growing for some reason. It could be that it's too hot. So that is a very common thing, because mustard and turnips are generally cooler season. Maybe not mustard, but definitely turnips. All right, so sparkler white top radish is next one on my list. This is one that if you do have 30 days more of frost-free times, it's definitely one that you can plant right now. And like I said, for those of you in Texas, I highly recommend doing the Texas Super Sweet, which is also called Texas 1015. All right, so the last one on my list, hey Julie, thanks for joining us. I shared a link to my October seed sale, which ends tonight, October 15th at midnight. I shared the discount code for the 20% off all flower seeds, which ends also tonight at 10:15. Diane, yes, you are correct, because I had an issue as well. Squirrels can also affect germination. I had someone reach out and they said they planted a ton of beans and only a couple germinated, and it was like sporadic in their bed. And I was like, well, are you missing? Like, do you have holes? And that's what happened to me. I actually planted an entire bed of beans, and when I went back, there was literally holes all over my bed because the squirrels had dug up my beans and eaten them. So it wasn't a germination issue, it was a squirrel issue. Inga says, can you can extend your season with cold frames, works great in Virginia. Yes, you definitely can. That is another way that you can extend your season, is by cold frames. And I mentioned that if you use like row covers or frost covers, I'm pretty sure I did that post today. I'm not 100% sure, but it was about frost dates. Oh, it was yesterday. It was on 10/14 here on my Facebook page. So if you missed it, definitely go back and check it out, because super important. Joanne says, yup, squirrels ate your peas. And Joanne says, birds steal your bean seeds. Unfortunately, it happens. If you have critters, it's a possibility. Squirrels got your bulbs last year, Teresa. I'm so sorry. All right, so this is the last one I'm going to share with you today, and then I'm going to go feed Buster Kitty outside and medicate his ears. If you missed last week, I had to rush him to the vet because it was not good. All right, so I brought in a baggie so you could see how tiny these seeds are. But this is called Ling cutting celery. So this is a really cool one. Armadillo is digging up your garden. I'm so sorry. So the Ling cutting celery is unique. You can grow it as a microgreen and harvest around 30 days, or you can grow it as a celery leaf. Oh, yes, the discount on the coffee. The discount on the coffee is Mary's Coffee. I shared a link earlier. Patty says in Florida, I had my first green bean harvest today, planting early. Yeah, and you kind of started over, if I remember correctly, because the storm took out your barn and maybe some of your garden. So starting over is not easy as well. All right, so I shared the link to the Ling cutting celery. The reason this is so unique is because it's harvested for the leaves. So for those of you in hot climates like Texas, like Florida, this is harvested for the leaves. This is not your typical celery stalk. We have multiple varieties of celery stalks at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. So you definitely want to grow, if you want a celery, like a good celery stalk, grow something different. This one is 60 to 90 days for the greeneries. The stalk is much thinner than a regular celery stalk. So you can harvest it as a microgreen at 30 days. You can harvest it as a celery leaves at 60 days. And for those of us, like I said, in warmer climates where it's difficult to grow celery, because sometimes, like right now, it's 85 degrees and it's almost 5:45 at night. So it's hot. And Patty says, yes, this is your first green bean for the fall, planted late in August. So I want to put this up against my hand so you can see how small these seeds are. The seeds are tiny, tiny, tiny. But there are over 100 seeds here. The seed packs is 100. There's about 150 seeds in here. We have plenty of celery available at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. I don't know off the top of my head which is best for the heat. I just know that I'm excited to plant this one again because I really like the flavor of celery in soups and stews, and I'm really looking forward to having that available to me in all year long almost. And these are cool tolerant, so they will also tolerate a light frost. So the Ling cutting celery. This is a new arrival for 2026. I just announced the availability last night. So you definitely want to check this out if you can. Yes, you want to plant celery very, very shallow. It is tiny. The general rule on planting seeds is twice the width of the seed is how deep you plant it. And since these are what I call dust seeds, you definitely want to plant them almost on the surface. So anyway, all right, so seeds, caramel nuts like coffee for one lucky winner. In order to win, you need to be in the US or Canada, you need to comment, and you need to have not won in the last month or so, and you are entered. So I will go ahead and poll using random comment picker as soon as I'm done. I have thoroughly enjoyed discussing fun seed varieties with you. I got some books here. I just went to Half Price Books and picked up a bunch of books, but I also added some books at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. If you didn't already know, I have a couple of books that I specifically enjoy and that I wanted to share with my customers as well. And so I added them to Mary's Heirloom Seeds. I actually did a giveaway earlier this year, I want to say. Hang on, let me do this really quick and I'll share it with you guys. I did a giveaway earlier this year specifically with the Rosemary Gladstar book. about herbs. She is amazing. Kissa, we do a live chat here on Facebook every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central Time, and I'm live on my YouTube channel every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time. So I'm going to share the link to the books before I go. I have the books that I carry at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, I have used before I even was able to offer them at Mary's Heirloom Seeds, but I found a supplier of books where I can share some awesome books with you. There's one on hot sauce, there's one on growing herbs, there's one on using herbs, there's a couple on herbs, and then there's a couple on getting started in your vegetable garden. So while I would love to be able to be available to you 24/7, some days I have to sleep and some days I have to be able to work in my seed shop to get your orders out. So I wanted to be able to offer you some books so that you can check it out. I like paper books. I don't like a digital book. I like feeling the books in my hand. I like being able to use it as a resource anytime I want to. So that's why I added some paper books. All right, everybody, I am headed off. I'm done. I got my water. I already had my coffee. One lucky winner is going to get some coffee and some seeds, and then definitely check out those books, because checking out those books is, if you like herbs, it's amazing. And Amanda, the hot sauce book, is super fun. All right, everybody, signing off. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again on either my YouTube video or my Facebook lives, and happy planting.